Welcome. Intentionally building a highly effective team starts with recognizing that the team is made up of individuals, and each individual brings assets or strengths to the team. One of those assets that I believe is often overlooked when teams are formed are the core values of the team members. So let's take a moment to kind of zoom in on individual core values, and then later we'll zoom out to consider the core values within the team as a whole. Knowing ourselves and knowing our team members is a critical piece of creating and maintaining highly effective teams. In fact, knowing ourselves is a part of emotional intelligence development. It's a part of that self-awareness and social awareness. So let's get started. Let's talk about core values. Core values are central to knowing ourselves. They're also they kind of act as a compass for ourselves in terms of how we make decisions and when we make decisions, things like that, and how we perceive how others are making their decisions in terms of the way they act and they think. And they also give us some insight in how to best work with others. That's why I think core values are such a critical piece in starting to work and develop a team. We think, speak, and act out of our core values. And that is such a critical piece of information in terms of our own development as a leader and working collaboratively with any group of individuals. So, let me say it again. We think, speak, and act out of our core values. Here's another powerful insight. When someone is asked to do something that conflicts with one of their core values or that they perceive is in conflict with their core values, it creates a great deal of dissonance for that person. And they may act or speak in ways that surprise us or confuse us until there's some sort of resolution. That resolution could be that that person realizes that what they thought was in conflict with their core values actually isn't. Or that resolution could come when there's some sort of modification that allows that person to continue in their own core values. For example, if one team member's core values is meaningful work, but the team member doesn't see how a project that the team is working on is connected to the vision or the mission of the team, or the work maybe feels more like busy work, that person is going to experience dissonance. And that's likely going to impact not only their work and contributions and performance on the team, but also their longevity on the team. We can avoid unfortunate circumstances like this by knowing our own core values and knowing the core values of others. So, what are your core values? Let's take some time and reflect on this question. I want you to pause the video and grab the document identifying core values and take some time to actually go through that activity on your own. If you haven't found it yet, it's located in the section called Resources for Module 1 within this module, right at the beginning. And I want you to just follow the directions on that document to determine your top core values. I'm going to make two suggestions. Don't be surprised if you have to grapple with this just a little bit. Most people actually do. And the other thing I would say is it's worth it. It really is, because you're going to be able to articulate clearly what your core values are to others, and it's also going to help you better understand why you take the actions, the reason you think, act, or react the way that you do to circumstances. And secondly, I would recommend that we assume that family is kind of a universal core value for most people. So avoid selecting that as one of your top core values, just so that we can actually learn a little bit more about you. Once you've completed that activity of identifying your core values, you're going to use that tent card that I mentioned in the resources to record your core values. Make a tent card with your name in the center and put your top 3 core values across the bottom of your tent card. Okay? You're going to use this tent card to help you prepare for a conversation around core values. So, and to help you get ready for that conversation about core values, think about what your core values look like and sound like or feel like in your personal life and then in your professional life. For example, gratitude is one of my core values. And I have a gratitude practice in my personal life of writing down at least one thing that I'm grateful for each morning in my calendar. So that core value shows up in my professional life in that if I begin a class or a presentation, I often begin by asking the audience to share one thing that they're grateful with a partner. I also speak words of gratitude when I see or hear a colleague who's making a contribution, making me think, adding to the quality of our work. I don't just think it, I speak it. And I've actually found that that expression of my core values has an impact. And sometimes a practice becomes contagious and affects the group for the better. So take time to answer that question for yourself. How do my core values show up personally and professionally? And you'll be able to use that. You'll be ready to actively participate in your upcoming team conversation. I'll see you in the next video.